Welcome to Bruce Talk. This is a show that's all about making crop insurance make sense. I'm Bruce Lantzky. I've been a crop insurance agent with over 25 years of experience and a producer right here in Northeast Iowa. Each week we break down some timely topics that impact your farm, from risk management strategies to government programs, so you can make confident and informed decisions on your operation. So let's dive in. Today's topic, SDRP Phase 2 payments. This program is part of the $16 billion of assistance authorized by the American Relief Act of 2025, also known as the One Big Beautiful Bill. Phase 1 payments were made earlier this summer to producers who experienced crop insurance losses in 23 and 24 crop years for qualifying perils. Phase 2 is targeting producers who didn't have a crop loss in 23 and 24, but may have had a yield shortfall. The enrollment period is November 24th through April the 30th. You must request the application from your local FSA office. Phase 1 payments were automatically sent out from the FSA office. This is a difference in the fact that you have to request them now. The crop insurance data should be pre-filled from the RMA and have all the information needed on your application. The administration of this program is handled by USDA's Farm Service Agency. So if you received a Phase 1 payment earlier this year, you may be eligible for a Phase 2 payment if you have a crop that's in a non-loss county or optional units that didn't experience a loss. The following table shows how crop insurance calculations carry into this formula for the SDRP payments. The higher the MPCI coverage level, the higher the SDRP coverage level you will have. For example, 80% RP will give you a 95% SDRP coverage level. If you only had a 70% RP level, you're only going to qualify for a 90% of the Supplemental Disaster Relief Payment coverage level. So this is based on your individual plan. If you received a supplemental area payment, such as SCO, ECO, or margin protection, this is not included in the payment calculation. The biggest difference between a Phase 1 and Phase 2 payment is in the Phase 1 payment, they utilize revenue calculations and use the harvest price in order to determine any shortfall of revenue. As you can see from the following snapshot of the Phase 1 SDRP website, $5.7 billion has been paid out of the total $16 billion for Phase 1 payments. So in order to make sure there was enough dollars to go around to all the remaining insureds, the decision was made not to utilize the harvest price option that was used in Phase 1. They are now looking for a loss of yield and not of revenue for Phase 2. So this is going to make it kind of interesting in the fact of if you carried a 85% RP level and had a small indemnity on your soybean crop. In this instance, we have a indemnity of 85% showing that it had a $19,000 loss. You would qualify for a Phase 1 payment. When you run through the calculations, utilizing the Phase 1 calculations, it shows that you should have on a per acre basis about $34 that you should be receiving from Phase 1. However, looking at the customer that purchased a 75% RP coverage, it shows that there was no loss because the harvest revenue did not generate a multi-peril loss. Additional payments can be made if funds are not exhausted when all the initial payments are made. For growers who don't have crop insurance, you can apply for an SDRP payment, but you must agree to purchase crop insurance for the next 3 years. There's some payment limitations for this program. See SDRP Phase 2 link for details. Remember, enrollment runs from November 24th through April the 30th, so make sure to reach out to your FSA office to request an application. If you're unsure whether your coverage level is working for you, now is the perfect time to review it. Next week, we'll dive into how grain marketing strategies tie into crop insurance decisions, something that every producer should think about before the next growing season. If you have any questions about SDRP or crop insurance, shoot me an email. Love to hear your thoughts and help you make the best financial decisions for your operation. Thanks for tuning in to Bruce Talk, where we keep your farm future in focus. See you next time.